Little bit of safety dance for you guys there at the beginning of the Bid Nerds show. Welcome to Bid Nerds, everyone. Your daily nerd out on the most interesting car of the day from all of the automotive enthusiast auction sites. We dig through Bring a Trailer, P-Car Market, Cars and Bids, Marked, Shiftgate to find the most interesting car. We have a conversation about that car. We make a prediction as to what's going to happen with that car on its respective auction. And then we tell you what happened. We time travel into the future and tell you exactly how much that car what happened with its auction. My name is John Polnik. I'm coming to you from the Las Vegas Container Park in downtown Las Vegas, along with my partner Michael Deeb in
What's up, dude?
San Francisco. You know, back in the studio, bruh. Just took a road trip.
So on Friday, as it were, a few days ago, you and I were
as of the recording of the show.
Yeah, we were on the lawn at Works Reunion, and we were hanging out in the Marked booth with the, I don't know if you could say like the president of Porsche Digital in the U.S., Stefan Baral, who is from Stuttgart, Germany, and he's running Porsche Digital down here in Silicon Valley. They created Marked platform, and I will tease ahead and say next week, because their auctions run longer than a week, but they've got a car that they just onboarded, just went live. It's a 993 C4S. So I'm going to tease ahead that next week we will cover our first car on the Marked platform, because I think that's a car that you and I will have some fun with. When we get to it next week, it'll be one of the most interesting cars. So our first Marked car is coming down the pike. Finally, we've been talking about them, but I think they finally have a car that really fits with the Bid Nerds sense of occasion.
Are we gonna get Stefan as a guest on the show?
Certainly can. Yeah, we certainly can. We'll try to tee that up. So there you go. Guys, teases.
Go ahead and hit the subscribe, like, and notification button if you haven't already. We need you guys to subscribe. We love having you watch every day, all four of you. But spread the word, share a nerd, grow the herd. Let's make this channel blow up. We need your help doing it. When you put a comment down below, when you hit the like button, when you subscribe, when you share one of these videos, you really help us out, and we really appreciate it when you do so, and we love making the show every day for you. So please spread the word, share a nerd. Let's make this happen. All right, let's get to today's car, the most interesting car of the day. Look, people always ask us how we choose the most interesting car of the day. It's not always the most expensive car, like the Singer or, the McLaren or whatever is not necessarily the most interesting. Sometimes we pick a weird one because it just happens to be, interesting. So let's, today's car is just that. What are we talking about here today?
All right, JP, what we're looking at is this. It is on Cars and Bids, mind you, a 1997 Volkswagen Golf. What's the big deal, you say? In my opinion, there are two kind of Porsche guys. There's guys that come from money and they can buy whatever they want. And there's the guys who, when they got out of high school and were in college, drove a Volkswagen and then had so much fun driving their Volkswagen, they played spades. They worked an extra shift so that they could buy, a new speed sway bar or some coilovers and lower the car. They put Schrick cams in it and they tuned it up. And then when they made enough money or got a promotion, they bought their first beat up old Porsche. So I think half of the Porsche crowd out there have roots that are seated in Volkswagen lore. So every time I see an unusual Volkswagen, it gets my heart racing. So this 1997 Volkswagen Golf is a very rare European market Joker edition. And in Europe, the cars come with smaller engines than they do in the U.S. So check out this car on Cars and Bids. It's offered to us out of Monument, Colorado, with just 7,900 miles. And JP, you'll get a kick out of this. It's a VW, but it's a European VW that has like a European Porsche, a ZZZ VIN, which is really cool. But the real neat thing here, there's two things this car has going for it that I think are really cool. One, instead of the domestic, the US market 2-liter, our car has a 1.4 liter normally aspirated inline 4 that makes a lowly, let me read it to you, 60 horsepower and 80 pound-foot of torque. Our American 2 liters make 115 horsepower, 122 put a fork. And every Porsche guy in the world will tell you that's weak ass. This little car is like, probably feels like a diesel. It's probably super slow and not quick, but probably gets screaming good gas mileage. The other cool thing is, being a Joker edition, it's got this really unusual interior. JP, if you can skip ahead to a photo of the interior and get a load of these seats, the Joker edition means you've got these gray cloth seats that have this really cool colorway. I don't believe a Joker edition was ever available in the United States or North America. So the fact that this car is as pristine as it is, as European as it is, and as unusual as that interior is, I just thought this was the neatest little thing in the world. It does say that the car comes on 14-inch wheels, but judging by how tiny they look on this car, I wonder if they're not really 13s and maybe they misread them. They look unbelievably small. I think it'd be really cool to have this car and put it on a set of 15-inch alloys and use it as a commuter car. It'll certainly get about as good gas mileage as a Prius and be way more fun to drive, even if it's not fast. Mark III's maybe not the most attractive of the old VWs, but looking at this time capsule of a car and seeing it sitting there as like almost a brand new car for under $10,000, it just seems like it's a screaming deal and a really fun way to show up at Cars and Coffee or Legends of the Autobahn or whatever your favorite haunt might be. JP, would you plump I don't know, $10,000 to $20,000 for an 8,000 mile 1.4 liter Golf, or am I the only nerd out there that thinks this thing is really cool?
Interesting, yes. Cool, not even close. I mean, roll up door. You got to hope that this car is lighter. I mean,
Yep.
Than a regular Mark III, because it's going to need to be. Mark IIIs suck, man. Mark IIIs are the worst generation of Volkswagen. They don't look good. They don't handle good. They're underpowered. They're too heavy. There's so many things that just are terrible about these cars. This is interesting in the sense that it looks super lightweight. I mean, no air conditioning, so it's certainly not something you'd want in Las Vegas or any city that gets hot. For my money, look, if I'm going to get, where was this built? Was this built in Europe or was this built in Mexico? Is this like the Volkswagen Fox of the Mark II era? And for my money, I'd rather buy the best Volkswagen Fox. Is way cool. Like if you could find a Volkswagen Fox wagon, that would be way cooler than this dumb POS. I mean,
it's a German market car, so I'm guessing it's a German market. But that being said, it's not a Wolfsburg, so I don't know. It'd be weird to think that Germany's selling a domestic car that they had built offshore or overseas somehow. You know what I mean? But who knows? I don't know enough about the brand to suggest. JP, I saw the mileage, I saw that interior, and I was like, that thing's cool, even if the motor is anemic.
Yeah. There's one reason I would buy this car, and that would be if I were, in your shoes. If I had a daughter, now your daughter is nowhere near driving age, but if she were,
never too soon to buy a car for her.
My buddy, I just mentioned my buddy that has or I just mentioned the Volkswagen Fox. I got a buddy, my oldest friend in the world, Zach, up in Seattle. He owns two Volkswagen Foxes.
Oh my God,
those
that's
wagon
awesome.
ones, and he's got them safaried out. Him and his son are going on like the what do they call it, the Gambler Rally? I think this weekend at the time.
Very cool.
Show. So they're going to have a great time. And Zach is one of those wrenches that just can make a car into something awesome. But his middle daughter is about to be driving age, and he was like trying to figure out what to get her. And, a Mark II Volkswagen or any of those old Volkswagens, they don't have airbags. They don't have the safety features. So it's kind of like, those cars are cool, but would you really want to put your kid in one? This car seems like that's about the only good thing that this car can do. It has no power. It's a manual, and it has airbags, and it's German. If I had a teenager, this is the car. If it were reasonable price, I would get him this car. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing that, because they're not going to get in trouble with it. It's it's kind of cool.
I think we just sold it. I think everybody on Cars and Bids is watching the show today, and now they're going to fight over this car. So the consignor should pay us a fee.
Dads with teenage kids about to get a driver's license that don't want them to get in trouble. this is the car for them. Well, okay, so what is that number though? What gets them into? I mean, okay, you're a kid out there. Would you rather drive a 2006 Prius or would you rather drive this thing? I mean, you are a lame kid if you wanted the Prius over this.
Yeah,
because probably performance-wise, this car is going to be way cooler. You could actually make this car perform.
I swear to you on this, my daughter, when she's old enough to drive, will know how to drive a stick. I promise you that will be the case. My wife knows how to drive a stick, which is great, and she's a millennial. So there you go. JP, our car is sitting at just $9,700, but on a respectable 16 bids with a couple of days to go out of Monument, California, and with a verified 7,900 miles is this Joker edition of the German domestic market Golf with a 1.4 liter, basically a garage door opener of a motor. At 9,700, I think there's still some room to go. I wanted to say 16, but I listened to you and another one of your overly pragmatic tirades, and I start to feel like I'm out on a limb when I was thinking 16 might take it home. So I'm just going to take $1,000 off because I had to listen to your diatribe on why this car isn't worth anything. So I'm going to go $15,000 and tell you I'm not very secure in that bid, but how could you be? There's really not a lot of comps for a car as unusual as this, but it'll certainly be fun to watch. And I do think Cars and Bids is the right platform for this. I think everybody on Cars and Bids with a mouse in their hand is wearing dad jeans and has a bunch of kids. So
this
how's
has
that
Doug
for a take?
DeMuro written all over.
All
Doug DeMuro
over it,
would own this car, and he would just be bedazzled by this thing. Does it even have power steering? I mean, you got to wonder.
I doubt it. But that's good for a teenage daughter, right? Like learn how to drive,
make it difficult. So anything they drive after that will seem just so good.
So okay. 15 grand to you, JP. Where are you at with this? I mean,
we always talk about late stage rallies.
Not on this channel.
But not on Cars and Bids. This is the kind of thing that 2 or 3 days before the auction ends,
it's
you
done.
You can see the last bid. Will this thing break 10?
Yes.
I'm going to say because the miles are so low. I just don't know what collector value is there in this. It's not like, if this were a GTI or something like that with low miles or even just a regular Golf, you could say, but
where's the comp, JP? Show me a Mark III Golf with a manual transmission for sale in the United States anywhere today. Used Volkswagens from the 80s and 90s don't exist. Even on Bring a Trailer, which is crazy.
Mark IIIs are just like the least. Nobody wants them.
I agree. I agree.
And
most of these, most of ours were built in either Mexico or Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Like, Jettas and Golfs from that era.
And Fox. Was there a Joker version of the Mark II? Somebody's gonna have to.
I don't think so.
Comments below. I don't. I mean,
that's a question for Jason Camissa, who's a hardcore Volkswagen guy.
I
but
guarantee
he would also tell you
he doesn't even know. He would have to research to find an answer to this.
That's possible.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say it'll break 10,000. I'll say 10.5.
All right. Good guess. I'm gonna beat you.
There's gonna be one or two more little piddly bids.
I'm going to beat you. I'm going to make you eat velour interior with that terrible low bid. You are not respecting the beauty of this car.
Apparently not. What do you guys think out there in the audience? Is my partner a joker, or will he be laughing all the way to Bid Nerd's glory with his bid of 15 grand? What do you guys think this thing will bring?
Why so serious?
Tell us in the comments below, and we're going to find out how much this joker jokes. If the joke's on us, all the jokes right after this. Okay, guys, I want to tell you about Vegas Auto Fest. The drivers are coming. This is one of our big sponsors. It's the biggest car show of the year in Las Vegas. It's one of the coolest car shows you can possibly experience anywhere. If you haven't made plans to be part of Vegas Auto Fest on September 17th, then do it now. Go to VegasAutoFest.com and register your car. You think you're a car enthusiast? Doesn't matter where you live. Plan a trip to Vegas on September 17th and come out and see this show. It's like Monterey Car Week all in a day. Have you ever been to the Quail? Have you ever been to Works Reunion? Have you ever been to Amelia Island? All those car shows are amazing and great. Have you been to Luftkult? Sure, but Vegas Auto Fest is something special. Make a plan for September 17th. We'll see you in Vegas. Here we go. Okay, we're back to Bid Nerds, your daily nerd on the most interesting cars of the day, or car of the day, as it were. From all the automotive enthusiast auction sites. That. Michael Deeb is giving you the fist. That means he wants you to subscribe, like, hit the notification button, smash that, whatever the kids say. We're boomer adjacent, so we don't know how to smash subscribe buttons or any of that kind of stuff. Come on, guys, share this episode. Let's spread the word. Share a nerd.
Don't spread this one. Spread any of the other ones. This one was a huge disappointment.
Yeah, look, this particular car is kind of lame, but hey, we're still nerding out here. We're still doing all the nerd stuff, right?
Man.
All right, so what happened with this auction, Michael?
I don't even want to talk about this one, John.
This car's called a Joker, and I think you're a joker for picking it.
I am a joker for picking it. This car disappointed me so much, or maybe Cars and Bids, Doug DeMero's platform disappointed me. I thought $15,000. You said 10.5. You almost got a Yahtzee on this one. The car sold for $10,200 on 21 bids. But I mean, I wanted to brag about, like, see, I told you so, John, and really rub your nose in it that, like, an unusual car from overseas with like hardly any miles on it, even though it's a Mark III Golf, would bring like the Volkswagen community would be out there and somebody would pay, stupid money for this car. Absolutely not. 10,200. Even your bid was over it. I mean, you're like the most, bullish guy out there. So anyways, huge disappointment for me. You won that one. There's really not a lot to talk about. This might be the shortest episode we ever do. I'm over this car. Whatever.
It's easy to get over this car. You could probably run faster than this thing.
Probably could.
You could jump it in the skateboard or a BMX bike or all of this.
At $10,200, you and I should have bought it and given it to Rami and let him go shoot it in the desert.
That's about the only value I can think of for this car.
I thought preservation award, cool interior, special model, and I was the only one. So what an idiot.
Well, do you think it had anything to do with platform, or do you think if this were on BAT, do you think it would have done any better? To me, it seems like it's on the right platform. It's the weirdo platform. This is the weirdest car.
I don't know. Listen, I have, and not a bone to pick, but like the VW, like VW Vortex. Where are you? Like Where's the cool VW events? Where are all the cool Mark IIs that you and I lust over with diving boards and headlights and Recaros? Like, where do you go to see those cars? Like, you and I do car stuff all the time, and you rarely see a cool VW roll up to a respectable show in anything even remotely close to original trim. Those cars have all been mutilated to there's nothing left. And so this car comes on, and I thought somebody would jump on it and maybe pay too much for it, but still that somebody would like overvalue it and treasure it and be like, look at this unusual unwrapped car. No, not the case. There is no VW community. There's nobody out there. Nobody's preserving these cars. Nobody's spending any money on Volkswagens, and they're like a footnote in history. They don't exist. Where are they?
Well, come on, let's face it. I mean, the Volkswagen as a factory has pretty much killed their brand. They don't make any enthusiast cars anymore. I mean, they still do make the Golf R, which is a pretty great car, but everything else is pretty much, a German Camry or some, they're just, I mean, ID4 is the snoriest, most lamest, EV that's out there. I mean, just everything. And there is no community. So there's still people that are still into the Volkswagen air-cooled stuff, and we've talked about air-cooled cars, and we certainly like the style of a lot of those. It's a totally different breed. The people that were into water pumpers were Gen Xers and Gen Yers, our age. Yeah. Mark IIs and Mark IIIs like this one were very popular when we were younger. And some of us had them and modded them up and stuff like that. But let's face it, once we had the money, we got into something better. The only reason you get a Volkswagen GTI or a Scirocco or a, whatever, a Corrado or something like that is because you can't afford a Porsche or a BMW. That's why. Right. It's just that simple. As soon as you can, you're out. So you're left with bottom feeders. When it comes to Volkswagen, we keep seeing things like Corrados and really cool GTIs pop up on an auction site here and there, and we think, oh my gosh, this car is so nostalgic. So, 80s and 90s stuff is so cool right now. Everybody wants that stuff. They're just about to pop. It's gonna happen. It's like, no, Volkswagen people are bottom feeders. They just are. It's just the Volkswagen community sucks.
Right, but the alpha community is a bunch of like what you and I would call boomers in pleated pants that go to shows where they pretend to love spaghetti and garlic bread, and they pull out their lawn chair and sit in front of their car and talk about oh, I bought this key fob in Rome or whatever, just the dumbest stuff, like things that really wouldn't interest you and I. But man, they are fervent. Like, they are out there and they are passionate. They don't miss any event or any holiday to get their car out and do stuff. Where are the Volkswagens like that? Like, I can tell you, like, if there's a all Italian day, there's going to be 50 terrible rusted out Alphas there, but at least they're going to be there. Well, where are the VWs?
Italian cars are romantic, and they're rear wheel drive, and they're more fun to drive than a front wheel drive anything Volkswagen. But look, in defense of the Volkswagen community, it is still quite large. They're out there. I mean, look, there are multiple Volkswagen shows here in Las Vegas. There's one, the Findlay Volkswagen.
Take me to one. Take me to one, will you?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of people that show up to. They do VWs by the bridge, out by the or by the dam or something like that. I mean, there's a bunch of Volkswagen stuff, and you'll still get, like, especially the air cool stuff. They do buses by the bridge or buses by the bay or something down in Lake Havasu. That brings thousands and thousands of people in the wintertime. One of the biggest car shows of the year is that big Volkswagen thing that happens in California, SoCal, every year. I don't know what it's called, but our friend Chef went down there.
Yeah. No, but nobody knows what it's called. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, but I mean, the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are still bottom feeders. That's my point. Is that Volkswagen people, if you're still into Volkswagens, you never moved on. It's because you plateaued. That's it. You're like, okay, I guess this is where I'm at. I can't get anything better. So I'm going to try to convince everyone else and myself that I really love these things, but really it's just like it's like CrossFit.
So if you're passed over for a promotion, you're stuck in that, like, Mark IV Golf. Is that what it is? GTI or whatever?
I think that's what it is, man.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Your partner on this show, my Eleanor, is a jade green GLI Jetta. That's and I know your buddy's got one up north somewhere. I want.
He has a Calypso green one.
Is that what it is? I thought it was called jade green. No, Calypso. That's the one. I want that car. That's my Eleanor. That's the car I'm been hunting my whole life. I wanted that car for damn near 20 years now, I swear. So anyway,
your old colleague at Godden Porsche of Las Vegas. I'm totally spacing his name. Younger guy who left to work for an investment bank for a while and came back. What's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed to do this now on the show. But he has a white GLI Jetta that he's planning on bringing to Carzoon Cafe. He's all excited about it. Talked to him just the other day. So
Is that this weekend, by the way?
Well, I mean, if you're watching this episode, no, but as of recording it, this show, yes. So for those of you, if you're ever in Las Vegas on the last Sunday of the month, we do an air-cooled Porsche show, a classic Porsche show in the Arts District of Las Vegas called Carzoon Cafe, right in front of the Good Wolf. So come and join us there sometime. Yeah, or come and hang out at in the Container Park with us. Either one is all good.
Maybe I'll come out this weekend and see if I can. See if I can get if I can get a vet appointment for Shelby to go see the doggy chiropractor, then maybe I'll come out and do cars und.
That would be fantastic. Do that, guys. Join us at Carzoon Cafe and hit the subscribe, like, and notification button right now. We'll see you tomorrow. Get those words!